Walked into the restaurant expecting an ordinary dinner with my wife. Olivia had called me that afternoon and asked me to meet her at one of the most expensive restaurants in the city. She had sounded serious, but I never imagined that anything was wrong with our marriage. For 8 years, I had learned to read Olivia's moods. I knew when she was tired, when she was angry, and when she was hiding a surprise. That evening, I convinced myself she had planned something special. When I reached our table, I smiled. "Sorry, I'm a little late." Olivia looked up. "You're not late." "Good. Then I didn't ruin your surprise." She didn't answer. I stopped smiling. "Olivia." "Sit down, Ethan." Her voice was strange. I slowly pulled out the chair and sat across from her. "You sounded worried on the phone." "I am. Is something wrong?" She looked toward the window. "I don't know how to say this." I reached across the table and tried to hold her hand. "Whatever it is, just tell me." She pulled her hand away. That small movement hurt more than I expected. "Esther de hair." "Why did you do that?" "Because I need you to listen." "I am listening." Before she could answer, I noticed someone sitting beside her. I had been so focused on Olivia that I hadn't paid attention to the man across the table. He was probably in his early 40s. He wore a perfectly fitted black suit, polished shoes, and an expensive silver watch. His hair was neatly styled, and his calm expression made him look completely comfortable in the expensive restaurant. I looked at Olivia. "Who is he?" She swallowed. "Ethan, this is Victor Blackwood." The man stood and offered his hand. "It's a pleasure to finally meet you." I looked at his hand for a moment before shaking it. Finally, Victor smiled. "Olivia has mentioned you." I slowly pulled my hand back. "I see." I looked at my wife again. "You've mentioned me to him?" "Yes." "How long have you known him?" "Not very long." I stared at Olivia, waiting for her to take back what she had said. Instead, she lowered her eyes. "Is that why you brought Victor here?" "Yes." I looked at Victor. "And what exactly does he have to do with my wife's happiness?" Victor leaned forward. "I can offer Olivia a future you cannot." I almost laughed. "You've known my wife for a few months, and you're already talking about her future?" "I know what she wants." I turned toward Olivia. "Do you?" She nodded. "I want a better life, Ethan." "What does that mean?" "I want luxury. I want to travel. I want a beautiful home. I want security. I want to stop worrying about bills and savings." "I gave you everything I could. You gave me enough to survive." Her words cut deep. "I thought we were building something together." "We were." "Then why are you choosing him?" She looked at Victor. "Because he can give me more." I felt my fingers tighten around the edge of the table. "More money, more opportunities. That's the same thing." "No, it isn't." I shook my head. "Olivia, you promised me that money would never decide our marriage." "I was younger when I made that promise. And now," she took a slow breath, "now I know what I really want." I looked at the woman I had loved for 8 years. For the first time, I wondered if I had ever truly known her. Then Victor smiled and said, "Ethan, you should understand something. Love is important, but it cannot buy the life Olivia deserves." I looked directly into his eyes, and apparently neither can loyalty. Victor's smile faded. Olivia whispered, "Ethan, I want a divorce." Everything around me seemed to become silent. I looked down at my wedding ring. Then I slowly touched it with my thumb. 8 years. One sentence. And suddenly, all of it felt like it had disappeared. Kept staring at Olivia, hoping she would suddenly smile and tell me this was some cruel joke. She didn't. "You want a divorce?" I asked. "Yes." "You're serious?" "Yes, Ethan." I swallowed the pain rising in my throat. "Do you love him?" Olivia went silent. That silence answered me before her words did. "I don't know." I looked at Victor. He remained completely calm. I turned back to Olivia. "You don't even know if you love him, but you're willing to throw away our marriage for him?" "I know what I want." "No, you know what he can give you." Her eyes filled with tears. "You don't understand." "Then make me understand. I've spent years watching other people live the life I wanted." "What life?" "A beautiful life. Expensive vacations. Nice cars. A home that makes people jealous. People who respect you because of what you own. Esther de hair. Do you really think that's what respect is?" "You wouldn't understand." "I understand more than you think." Victor finally spoke. "Olivia shouldn't have to apologize for wanting more." I looked at him. "This isn't your marriage." "I know. then stay out of it. Victor smiled. I'm not the one making the decision. I looked at Olivia. Is that true? She nodded. Yes. My chest felt heavy. Then answer one last question. What? If Victor lost all his money tomorrow, would you still choose him? Olivia opened her mouth. Nothing came out. I waited. She looked at Victor, then back at me. I don't know. I closed my eyes for a moment. That was all I needed. I slowly removed my wedding ring. Olivia stared at my hand. Ethan, what are you doing? You've made your choice. I haven't asked you to leave yet. You don't have to. I placed the ring on the table. I spent years believing that if I loved you enough, I could make everything work. Her voice cracked. I did love you. Maybe you did. I still care about you. I believe you. Then fight for me. I took 3 steps toward the restaurant door before Olivia's voice stopped me. Ethan, wait. I turned around. She was still sitting at the table, staring at the wedding ring I had left behind. What? Are you really going to leave like this? I looked at her. You already told me you wanted a divorce. I didn't expect you to accept it so easily. I almost smiled. Easily? My voice became quieter. Olivia, nothing about this is easy. She stood. Then stay and talk to me. We've talked. No, you haven't heard everything. What else is there? She looked at Victor. Victor gave her a small nod. I understood. You've already discussed this with him. It's not like that. Then what is it like? Olivia wiped her eyes. I wanted you to understand why I'm doing this. I understand perfectly. No, you don't. Then tell me. She took a shaky breath. I've been afraid of living an ordinary life. Our life was ordinary. Yes. Was it ordinary when we got married with almost nothing? She lowered her head. Was it ordinary when we worked 2 jobs to pay our rent? I remember. Was it ordinary when I stayed beside you in the hospital after your mother got sick? Her eyes filled with tears. I remember everything. Then why are you acting like our life meant nothing? It meant something. Then why are you throwing it away? She couldn't answer. Victor stood and walked toward us. Because people change. I looked at him. Maybe. He adjusted his jacket. Olivia has the right to choose a different future. I agree. Olivia looked surprised. You do? Yes. I looked at her. You have every right to choose your future. She whispered. Then why are you angry? I'm not angry. I touched my empty ring finger. I'm hurt. Her face changed. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. She stepped closer. Can you forgive me? I looked into her eyes. Maybe someday. Her voice sat in Daniel's car without saying a word. For several minutes, neither of us spoke. The city lights passed across the window, but I barely noticed them. My mind was still inside that restaurant. Olivia's face, her voice, her words. I want a better life. Daniel finally broke the silence. Ethan, look at me. I turned toward him. Are you okay? No. He nodded. I know. I thought she loved me. She probably did. Then why wasn't that enough? Daniel gripped the steering wheel. Sometimes people don't know the value of what they have until they lose it. I looked down at my empty ring finger. I gave her everything. I know. I wasn't rich, Daniel. You don't need to be rich to be a good husband. I thought working harder would make her happy. You worked yourself into the ground. I laughed bitterly. And she still wanted more. Daniel glanced at me. Did she say she loved Victor? No. Did she say she was leaving because she loved him? No. Then what did she choose? I answered quietly. His money. Daniel was silent. Then he said, that's her choice. I leaned my head against the window. I keep thinking I should have done something differently. You can't change someone else's decision. Maybe I should have bought her the things she wanted. Ethan, what? You're doing it again. Doing what? Blaming yourself for someone else's greed. His words stayed with me. When we reached his house, I didn't want to get out. Daniel opened his door and said, you can sleep here tonight. I don't want to be a burden. You're my brother. I know. Then stop talking like you're a stranger. I finally stepped out of the car. Inside, Daniel handed me a glass of water. I sat on his couch. After a few seconds, my phone buzzed. It was Olivia. Can we talk tomorrow? I stared at the message. Daniel watched me. Are you going to answer? I typed slowly. About what? Her reply came almost immediately. I unlocked the apartment door slowly. For a moment, I stood in the hallway and stared at the place I had called home for 8 years. Everything looked normal. That was the cruelest part. Olivia's shoes were still beside the door. Her favorite blue mug was sitting near the sink. A small photograph from our wedding day was still hanging on the wall. I walked toward it and touched the frame. We were happy, I whispered. My phone rang. I looked at the screen. Olivia. I almost ignored the call, but I answered. Hello. Ethan. Yes. Are you home? I looked around the apartment. Yes. I'll be there soon. I felt my chest tighten. What? We need to talk. We already talked. I know, but I wasn't ready to say everything. I closed my eyes. Fina, come home. She was silent for a moment. Thank you. The call ended. I placed my phone on the table and sat on the couch. I kept thinking about the restaurant. Victor's confident smile. Olivia's hesitation. The way she had said she wanted a better life. I whispered, do you even love me anymore? I had no answer. Nearly 30 minutes later, I heard the front door open. Olivia stepped inside. She looked at me. Ethan, I stood. Do you love him? She froze. What? Victor, do you love him? She looked away. I don't know. That answer broke something inside me. I slowly nodded. You don't know. I've been confused. No. She looked at me. You're not confused. You just don't want to say the truth. Then tell me what you think the truth is. I swallowed. You don't love him. You love what he can give you. Olivia's eyes filled with tears. Maybe you're right. And somehow, hearing her admit it hurt even more. I turned away from Olivia because I could not stand looking at her. Then why are you doing this? She wiped her tears. Because I want more from life. More than what? More than this. I looked around our apartment. This? Yes. This is the home we built together. I know. We struggled together. I know. I stayed beside you when you lost your job. I remember. When you were sick, I stayed awake beside you all night. I remember everything, Ethan. Then how can you stand there and tell me that our life isn't enough? She looked down. Because I'm tired of struggling. I felt my anger rising. We weren't struggling anymore. We still weren't rich. So that's what this is about. She didn't answer. I stepped closer. Say it. She whispered. I want money. You still there. I want a beautiful house. I want expensive vacations. I want to stop checking prices before I buy something. And Victor gives you all that. Yes. Then what does he want in return? She frowned. What do you mean? Men like him don't give away everything for free. He cares about me. How do you know? He tells me. I shook my head. I told you I loved you too. Her voice became quiet. I know. Did you believe me? Yes. Then why isn't my love worth anything now? She began crying. Because I changed. I looked at her for several seconds. No, I think you finally stopped pretending. She flinched. That's cruel. Maybe. I sat down. I just need to understand something. What? If Victor lost everything tomorrow, would you still choose him? Olivia opened her mouth. Then she stopped. That silence answered me. I nodded slowly. That's what I thought. She sat across from me. I don't want to hurt you. You already did. I still care about you. But you don't choose me. She covered her face. I looked away. Then I picked up my phone and called Daniel. He answered immediately. What happened? Daniel walked farther into the apartment and looked at me. Ethan, sit down. I sat on the couch. Olivia remained standing near the table. Daniel pointed toward her. Did you even think about what you were doing? Olivia crossed her arms. I thought about it for months. And you still chose this? Yes. Daniel laughed bitterly. You know what hurts me most? Olivia said nothing. You didn't choose Victor because you loved him. She looked away. You chose the life he could buy. Daniel, please. No, he deserves to hear the truth. I raised my hand. Stop. Daniel looked at me. Why are you protecting her? I'm not. Then stop making excuses for her. I looked at Olivia. Are you leaving tomorrow? She nodded. Victor wants me to go with him. Where? London first. Then maybe Paris. You still there. You've already planned everything. Yes. She reached into her purse and placed several papers on the table. I need you to sign these. I picked them up. Divorce papers? Yes. Why so quickly? Victor wants everything settled before we leave. I looked at Daniel. He immediately shook his head. Don't sign anything. I frowned. Why? Because you're emotional. I just want this over. And that's exactly why you shouldn't sign. Olivia sighed. Daniel, they're simple divorce papers. Then there should be no problem letting an attorney review them. She looked uncomfortable. I noticed. What's in these papers? Nothing unusual. Then why won't you let Daniel check them? I didn't say he couldn't. Daniel took the papers from my hand. I know someone who can review them tonight. I asked. Who? Rebecca Stone. I had heard the name before. She was a lawyer Daniel trusted. I nodded. Call her. Daniel stepped into the hallway. Olivia sat beside me. I never wanted things to become this ugly. I looked at her. You could have stopped it. I know. Then why didn't you? She lowered. I wiped my face before Rebecca arrived. I didn't want another person seeing how broken I felt. A few minutes later, Daniel opened the door. Rebecca stepped inside, carrying a leather folder. Ethan. Yes. I'm Rebecca Stone. Daniel told me what happened. I nodded. I need you to tell me everything before you sign anything. I handed her the papers. Olivia wants a divorce. She's leaving the country with Victor tomorrow. Rebecca opened the folder. Did you read these? I looked at them. That isn't enough. Daniel nodded. That's what I told him. Rebecca scanned the pages. Where did these come from? Olivia. Did Victor prepare them? I don't know. Rebecca became serious. That's something we need to find out. I frowned. Why? Because these papers include financial terms that you shouldn't accept without understanding them. My stomach tightened. What financial terms? Rebecca pointed to a section. You could be giving up rights to certain shared assets. I stared at the page. I thought this was just a divorce. Divorce can involve much more than ending a marriage. Daniel looked at me. I told you not to sign. I leaned back. How much could I lose? Rebecca answered carefully. That depends on the assets and agreements you have. I looked at the papers again. So Olivia is asking me to sign away everything quickly. I wouldn't put it that way yet, Rebecca said. But I would not sign tonight. I nodded. Fine. Rebecca closed the folder. I'll review everything properly. After she left, Daniel looked at me. You see why I stopped you? Yes. I rubbed my forehead. I thought signing would finally free me. Freedom doesn't come from rushing into another mistake. I looked toward the hallway. Do you think Olivia knows what's in those papers? Daniel shrugged. I don't know. I felt a strange fear. Maybe Olivia wasn't the only person making decisions. Maybe Victor was already controlling E. I read the letter again, then a third time. Each sentence felt like a knife. I held the paper tightly. You promised me. My voice broke. You promised. Daniel appeared in the doorway. Ethan. I quickly wiped my eyes. What? What are you holding? I handed him the letter. He read it silently. When he finished, he looked at me. She really wrote this? Before our wedding. Daniel sighed. Then she meant it at the time. I looked down. That's what hurts. Why? Because I don't know when she stopped meaning it. Daniel sat beside me. People change. I know, but that doesn't erase what she did. I folded the letter carefully. I keep thinking about the woman who wrote this. You're grieving her. I looked at him. What if she was real? She was. And what if I lost her? Daniel didn't answer immediately. Then he said, maybe you didn't lose her. Maybe you lost the version of her you believed would always stay. His words stayed in my mind. My phone suddenly rang. Rebecca. I answered. Hello. Ethan. I finished the first review. What did you find? There are several things we need to discuss. My heart started beating faster. Is it bad? It's serious enough that you should not sign anything yet. I looked at Daniel. Does Victor have something to do with it? I can't confirm everything yet, but there are financial connections you need to understand. I swallowed. Okay, I'll wait. Good. And Ethan? Yes. Do not send Olivia any documents or sign anything until we speak again. I won't. The call ended. Daniel looked at me. What did she say? There's something wrong with the divorce papers. He nodded. I knew it. I looked at the old letter again. For years, I had believed Olivia was the person who would stand beside me no matter what happened. Tonight, that belief was gone. But something else had changed too. I was no longer thinking only about losing her. I was thinking Abu. Placed Olivia's old letter on the table beside my wedding ring. For a long moment, I stood there without moving. The letter was proof that the woman I had married once believed love mattered more than money. The ring was proof that I had believed her. Olivia stood near the bedroom door, watching me. Ethan, I didn't answer. She stepped closer. What are you doing? I finally looked at her. Leaving. Her face changed. You're really leaving? Yes. She stared at the ring. You're not going to fight for me. I shook my head. You already made your choice. But I thought you would at least try to change my mind. Why? Because you always fight for us. I did. When? Every day. She looked confused. I continued. I worked longer hours because I wanted to give you a better life. I saved money because you wanted a bigger house. I canceled plans because you wanted security. I kept telling myself that if I worked harder, you'd finally feel happy. Her eyes became wet. I never asked you to do all that. You didn't have to. Then why did you? Because I loved you. She looked down. And now? I picked up my suitcase. Now I love myself enough to stop begging. She whispered, You're making me feel like I'm the villain. I didn't say that. You're acting like I destroyed everything. I looked at her. You didn't destroy everything. She seemed relieved for a second. Then I finished. You destroyed what was left of my trust. Her face fell. Ethan. I walked toward the door. She followed me. Please wait. I stopped. That's it? You're just going to walk away. I looked back at her. You already left me. She stared at me. I don't understand. You chose Victor. I'm just accepting it. But what if I regret it? I took a breath. Then you'll have to live with that regret. I walked out. For the first time in 8 years, I didn't look back. I drove across the city with my suitcase in the back seat and Olivia's voice still trapped inside my head. What if I regret it? I wanted to turn the car around. I wanted to hear her say she had changed her mind. But I kept driving. When I reached my new apartment, I carried my suitcase upstairs and unlocked the door. The place was small. 1 bedroom, 1 couch, 1 narrow kitchen. No wedding photographs. No shared memories. No Olivia. I stood in the middle of the empty living room. This is my life now. My voice sounded strange in the silence. I sat on the couch and stared at my phone. No messages. No calls. I opened Olivia's contact. My thumb hovered over her name. I whispered, just call her. I almost pressed the button. Then I remembered the restaurant. Victor sitting beside her. Her saying she wanted a better life. I locked the phone. No. I placed it on the table. I won't chase you anymore. The next morning, I woke before my alarm. For a few seconds, I forgot everything. Then I reached across the bed. My hand touched an empty pillow. The memory returned. Olivia was gone. I sat up and took a deep breath. Get up, Ethan. I made coffee. I cooked breakfast. I cleaned the small apartment. None of it felt important, but I needed something to do. At work, my friend Grace noticed immediately that something had changed. She walked into my office and closed the door. You look terrible. I laughed. Thanks. You know what I mean. I know. She sat down. Did you leave? Yes. Did she come after you? No. Did you ask her to stay? No. Grace smiled slightly. Good. I looked at her. Why does everyone keep telling me that's good? Because you spent years putting Olivia first. She was my wife, and you were her husband. I know. No, Ethan. You forgot that part. I leaned back. What am I supposed to do now? Live. That's your advice? Yes. I looked out the window. What if I carried the project folder back to my apartment that evening. For the first time in weeks, I had something to focus on besides Olivia. I opened the documents and started reading. The project involved a major investment deal between my company and another corporation. If everything went well, I could become a partner. I smiled. Maybe this is my chance. My phone buzzed. Grace. I answered. Hello. Did your boss tell you? Tell me what? You're getting the biggest project of your career. I laughed. You already knew? He called me before you. Why? Because he wanted to know if you were emotionally ready. I leaned back. What did you tell him? I told him you're stubborn. That's not very encouraging. I also told him you're the hardest worker I know. I smiled. Thanks. She became quiet. How are you really? I looked at the documents. Better. Really? Not completely. I knew it, but I'm trying. That matters. I turned another page. Grace, I think I need this. The project. No. A reason to wake up and care about something again. She sighed. Then give it everything you've got. I will. After the call, I continued studying the documents. The next few days became a blur of meetings, reports, phone calls, and late nights. I barely thought about Olivia. At least, that's what I told myself. Then one afternoon, I received a message from Daniel. Have you heard from Olivia? I replied, no. Why? He answered, she moved into Victor's mansion. I stared at the message. A strange feeling passed through me. I typed, good for her. Daniel replied almost immediately, you don't mean that. I put my phone down. He was right. I didn't mean it, but I didn't want her back either. A few days later, Grace visited my office. She placed a coffee on my desk. You've been here since 7. I have work. You've been sleeping here too? Not literally. She looked at the stack of papers. You're Beck. I returned to my office and immediately called Grace. Are you still awake? It's almost midnight, Ethan. I need you to listen. Her voice became serious. What happened? The company I'm negotiating with is connected to Victor. There was silence. You're sure? I saw his name in the ownership documents. Ethan, be careful. I know. Don't let your anger make your decisions. My anger isn't making this decision. Then what is? Facts. I open the folder again. Something doesn't make sense. What? The company looks successful on paper, but the ownership structure is hidden behind several smaller companies. Grace sighed. That sounds dangerous. It does. Tell your boss. I will. The next morning, I walked into Mr. Harrison's office. He looked up. You found something? Yes. I placed the documents on his desk. The company has a hidden connection to Victor Blackwood. His expression changed. Are you certain? Yes. How did you discover it? I followed the ownership records. He studied the papers. Did Victor contact you? No. Does he know you're handling this deal? I don't know. Mr. Harrison leaned back. Then don't tell him yet. I frowned. Why? Because I want to understand what we're dealing with before he knows we're looking. I nodded. That makes sense. He looked at me. Ethan, this project is bigger than you realize. I understand. If you handle this correctly, partnership isn't just possible. What does that mean? It could become almost certain. I looked at him. I won't let Victor interfere. Mr. Harrison smiled. Good. That afternoon, I saw Olivia unexpectedly. She was walking through the lobby of a luxury hotel with Victor. I stopped. She noticed me. Ethan, Victor turned. Well. I said nothing. Olivia walked toward me. How are you, Fina? You look different. I've been working. Victor smiled. I hear you're handling an import. I stayed awake until sunrise. The anonymous warning kept replaying in my mind. You'll lose more than your job. I could have ignored it. I could have walked away from the project. I could have told my boss that I wanted something safer. But I'd already spent too many years running from difficult truths. I called Mr. Harrison. I'm sorry for calling this early. You sound serious. I received a threat. He became silent. What kind? Someone told me to stop investigating Victor. Did they identify themselves? No. Did they say anything else? They said I'd lose more than my job. He took a slow breath. Don't contact Victor. I wasn't planning to. Good. I still won the project. Are you sure? Yes. Then we'll protect you. I hung up and looked at the city outside my window. For the first time, I wasn't thinking about Olivia. I was thinking about my future. Later that morning, Grace called. Ethan, I heard about the threat. Ow, Daniel. I sighed. Of course. Are you safe? Yes. Promise me you won't do anything reckless. I won't. You always say that before doing something reckless. I laughed. I'm learning. She became quiet. Are you still thinking about Olivia? I looked at the wedding ring I had left behind. Every day. Do you want her back? I thought carefully. I don't know. That answer sounds different. It is. Ow. I don't want the woman who chose Victor. Grace was silent. And if she changes? I looked at my reflection in the window. Then that's her journey. What about yours? I smiled faintly. Mine has already started. I returned to work and spent the next week building the case around the business deal. The more I investigated, the stranger everything became. Victor's company looked powerful, but beneath the surface were hidden debts, unusual transfers, and private agreements. I took the documents to Mr. Harrison. This is bigger than I thought. I spent the next several days buried in the new business project. I arrived at the office before everyone else and stayed long after the building became quiet. I needed the work. It gave me something to focus on besides Olivia. Still, Victor's name kept appearing. I found it in ownership records. I found it in investment reports. I found it connected to companies that supposedly had nothing to do with him. One evening, I threw a document onto my desk. Why are you everywhere? My boss, Mr. Harrison, looked through the glass wall of my office. Everything all right? I quickly gathered the papers. Yes. He walked inside. You've been staring at those records for hours. I found something strange. What? Victor Blackwood is connected to several companies involved in our deal. Mr. Harrison became serious. Can you prove it? I think so. Then don't think. Verify it. I nodded. I will. He left, and I continued working. The deeper I went, the worse the numbers became. Victor's companies looked wealthy from the outside. Luxury buildings, expensive cars, massive investments. But underneath that image were debts. Huge debts. I opened another report. There's no way this is real. I checked the figures again. The company was carrying millions in hidden liabilities. Someone had worked very hard to hide them. I immediately called Mr. Harrison. Sir, I found serious financial problems. How serious? Serious enough that I think we should stop the deal temporarily. Send me everything. I will. I ended the call. A few minutes later, someone knocked on my office door. I looked up. A man stood outside. Mr. Carter? Yes. My name is Marcus Hale. The name meant nothing to me. Can I help you? I hope so. He stepped inside and closed the door behind him. I became cautious. How did you get into the building? I have business connections here. With Victor? His expression changed slightly. Yes. I stood. I looked down at the first page. It contained financial records I had never seen before. Where did you get these? Marcus sat across from me. I kept copies before Victor could destroy them. Destroy them? Yes. I turned another page. These companies are losing millions. They've been losing money for years. Then how does Victor look so successful? Marcus gave a bitter smile. Because he knows how to make people look at the right things. I studied him. Why did you leave him? Because I discovered what he was doing to his partners. What was he doing? He made them dependent on him. I frowned. Explain. He offered money when they needed it. He invested when their businesses were weak. He helped them when they were desperate. That sounds generous. It wasn't. Marcus leaned forward. Once they depended on him, he demanded control. I stared at the documents. And if they refused, they lost everything. I felt a cold sensation in my chest. Is Olivia in danger? Marcus didn't answer immediately. That silence told me enough. Tell me, Olivia may already be trapped. I looked away. Part of me wanted to call her immediately. Another part remembered the restaurant. She had looked at Victor and chosen his money. I whispered. She made her choice. Marcus nodded. I understand. No, you don't. He waited. She chose him over me. I know. She knew exactly what she was doing. Maybe. I looked at him. What does that mean? It means Victor is very good at making people believe they're choosing freely. I closed the folder. I don't know whether to believe you. You don't have to. Marcus stood. Just investigate everything before you decide. After he left, I called Grace. She answered quickly. What happened? Someone named Marcus Hale came to see me. Who is he? Victor's former business partner. Grace became quiet. What did he want? To warn me. About Victor? Yes. I